don't like it in here.
Just for peeling behind the curtain, we're in a different room.
I thought we were going to be in the bedroom with the beautiful ambient noise and the not squeaky chairs, but Mark's said that we have to go and be in his office.
I just don't think that lying down is like a natural way for podcasting.
It is for me. I was going to do like a Paula Yates impression, you know, like lying on the bed.
That's a reference everyone will get.
I think that's a good reference. I think it speaks to our target audience and our core listenership as well.
I'm trying to think who is known for being on the bed.
Well, famously Michael Hutchins.
Yes.
Yes, but also like a lot of women were on as well. Not any can come straight to my mind.
Yokozuna was on.
Who's
but
that?
I think that was with Denise Van Outen.
Who's Yokozuna?
Come on, who's Yokozuna?
Oh, is this a wrestling reference?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
He was a Samoan. He was a large Samoan.
Mm-hmm.
He started off like about 400 pounds.
Right.
And got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where WWE had to release him.
Mm-hmm.
And he carried on getting bigger. And then he appeared on The Big Breakfast because he toured UK. And very shortly afterwards, sadly passed away.
Oh, no. Anyway, we're not downstairs on the sofa like we normally are. Why are we upstairs, Mark?
Because it's Halloween and we've turned the lights off and unplugged the doorbell, as any British person should.
Long-term listeners will know that we have... I mean, what is it that we have around Halloween? I'm trying to think of like the best thing to describe it, but a general dislike of Halloween. Is it that strong? I don't know.
No, I genuinely dislike Halloween.
You genuinely dislike it. I think last year you took yourself upstairs, didn't you, of your own volition?
So when I was a kid, I have a memory of, and no one, I don't even think my parents remember this. I remember of someone coming around to trick or treat. My parents saying, "No, not tonight, thank you," and us going out shortly afterwards, and they were, in my mind, they were trying to set fire to our hedge, which I don't think they probably were. And I think that it was last year it came to the realisation that's why I hate Halloween.
That I can understand that now.
Yeah.
I just don't like people.
It probably wasn't even what happened, but that was my understanding of what had happened at the time.
Strangers coming to your house and then threatening your property. Oh, it would totally get me. That's like my worst nightmare. My home is my castle.
My mum won't be listening, so let us know if you remember that, Mum, or if I just dreamt it. But yeah, that's why I don't like Halloween. So we are hiding in my office.
Hiding in Mark's office.
Which you don't like.
I'm coming round to it now. Now that we've started chatting, I feel a little bit better.
Is it the wrestling figures inspiring you?
No, the wrestling figures behind me, they feel quite protective. It's just the bright light is a big bright old light. I mean, this is an old room. This is an old room because it's got children's decorations still. The curtains are still Marvel. The what's that thing that goes round a
lampshade?
A lampshade. Is a Marvel one, and you haven't changed it for your office.
No, it's way too
professional
cool.
office. Yeah. But yeah, we've come upstairs to hide, so hopefully we won't be disturbed. And it's the day after episode 8 of Celebrity Traitors.
So we did a podcast on episodes 1 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
We are now coming back for episodes 5 to 8.
I'm glad you do the maths. I was like, would it be 4 to 8? It was running through my mind. But no, 5 to 8. And we're nearly there. We're nearly at the final. I can't believe.
We've got a week to wait.
I know. It feels like a long time. Did you feel that you had sort of lost the train of the narrative from episode 4 to 5? Because I did. So after we finished our last recording, our episodes 1 to 4, it was then we had to wait a week, didn't we, until 5, and I felt I lost the thread of the narrative there.
Do you want me to say yes because the answer's no?
Okay, no, it doesn't have to be. So you picked it up much better than I really felt like I struggled to remember where we were and what we were doing, and it was on a cliffhanger as well.
It was a cliffhanger of who were they going to murder, and sadly they murdered poor Charlotte. I think we can fire through the first 2 episodes, like 5 and 6.
She had so much more to give.
Well, I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? Like, if someone has more to give, then
they're going to get rid of them because they're big personalities.
And when we get to the final 5, I think I'm amazed that 2 people have managed to avoid this.
Okay.
Yeah. Charlotte Church was murdered.
Goodbye, Charlotte Church.
We then had, at the end of the episode, the first ever tie, super tie, in... I'm going to call it a super tie.
Yeah,
I don't know
go
if
on.
that's the official wording.
I mean, tell them and let them use it for future series.
Between Mark and David.
Mark Bonner. Oh,
Mark
God.
Bonner.
I nearly forgot about Mark Bonner. Oh, what a good quality Mark Bonner was in the end.
Angry man.
Angry Mark Bonner. But not, I don't, you know what? I don't think he was, I think he was emotional. He was an emotional man, and
Yes.
he liked to put his hands on the round table and show his emotions. But yeah, so Mark versus David.
And Mark went out via a game of chance, basically. Yeah, like essentially a coin toss, but not. Which is, that's...
It could have gone completely the other way. I think it would be really interesting to see if it had gone the other way and got rid of David.
Apparently the first time that's ever happened. I think Mark wouldn't be in the final five if David went.
I think they're too suspicious of him, wouldn't they?
And it's come back in the most recent episodes that everyone just forgot about David overnight. I remember him coming out of that and him saying to Lucy Beaumont, "Oh, I'll be on the chopping block."
Yeah, I remember that.
And she said, "Well, we kind of forget after a day."
And she's totally right.
Yeah, she's
totally right.
Then at the end of that episode, obviously, Joe Wilkinson was murdered overnight.
Oh, poor Joe Wilkinson.
Poor Joe Marler. That devastated him.
It did devastate him.
Kind of brought him out of his shell a little bit. And I think...
Yes, it did bring him out of his shell a little bit. But I think it's good entertainment value in that he's doing his glaring and he's doing his staring and he's making his voice heard. I did feel a little bit uncomfortable when Lucy Beaumont was saying, you don't have to be this way at the round table, and I do wonder how it's been edited.
Let's pause that because I think I've got more on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, end of the episode, we lose Stephen Fry.
Yeah, Sir Stephen Fry.
First of the big dogs.
Gone.
How Jonathan got away with that and turned... Everyone knew Jonathan was a traitor, and somehow... he manipulated everyone to turn to Stephen, which... I
think we have to say Jonathan Ross has played a blinding game.
Right, up until the point he went out.
Well, yeah, it was inevitable.
Yes.
It was inevitable he was going to go. As you say, his name was coming up. This big dog theory meant that if Stephen was a faithful, and he was able to say that, because we were at that point on in the show, so he was able to say, I'm a faithful, then it automatically, with this big dog theory... I mean, whether it was true or not, but automatically they have to go for Jonathan.
Yeah.
Because you're saying one's a traitor, one's a faithful. So it made sense. So even more heat was on him with that theory. But what a game player. And his ability to lie is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's...
to a point where it's worrying.
Yeah. I think we've gone over enough of we need to about 5 and 6. No one's coming here to sort of talk through those. But we go on to episode 7 as part of the revealed in plain sight Lucy Beaumont was murdered.
Yeah.
She seemed genuinely hurt, which, I mean...
And it hurt for Kat, I think it was. Kat was her friend. But Kat is going under the radar for everyone.
I don't think that came across in the edit, that her and Kat were such good friends.
I agree. I totally agree. I don't think Lucy has had anywhere near as much screen time as potentially she could have had. I think it would have been... And this is one of my gripes of the show, is that I really wanted to know more about the celebrities. And... so much of the chat that we're seeing, and I understand why, but so much of the chat that we're seeing is just strategy and gameplay and who do you think it is. I would have loved just a little bit more time to get to know them as people, to get to see her and Kat sitting in the library or whatever, just chatting shit. Yeah. I would like some more chatting shit and less of the strategy, because I don't feel I'm getting to know them as people unless, for example, they are overly emotional. So, when we're talking about Joe Marler and his glaring and his staring and he's going for Jonathan, if we're talking about Mark Bonner and his emotional, response to voting people out who are faithfuls, that's the only time I feel like I'm starting to see a side of them that perhaps I haven't before. With Kat, actually, and it was Claudia that made me even feel this way even more, when they were doing the task where they're going across the rickety bridge, and Claudia turns and says, I've never seen this side of Kat before. I'm sure that side of Kat was sure, her being scared and going over the bridge and, saying, I'm an adult, all of that sort of stuff. I'm sure that has been portrayed at various other points. She can't just be sitting there saying nothing all the time. And that's what I would like to have seen more of, the person behind the celebrities. That is my real feeling, is we haven't seen. And Lucy, to go back to your point, Lucy Beaumont did not get enough screen time in my view.
So basically you're saying the thing that someone's actually come out and said, oh, we've not seen this from someone, you want to see more of.
That's exactly right.
Well done.
Thank
Excellent.
you, Claudia.
Thank you, Claudia.
Good point, well made.
And then at the end of the episode, obviously we see the banishing of Jonathan Ross.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
I mean, there was no way it could go through after Stephen Fry.
Although, when we were watching it, I think I might have piped up at one point going, I think he's going to get away with this, and it's a good edit. It's a good storytelling device, that they were moving around different people, and then eventually you saw actually it was all a bit of a falsehood, and everyone apart from David voted for him?
Yes.
Or did he vote for David?
He voted for David,
yes.
And David voted for Nick.
That's it. And then people were saying, because Jonathan voted for David, that means he's like getting another traitor.
Yeah.
But David very, very intelligently turned around and said, well, the statistics, and I'm no good at maths, but the statistics would suggest that the traitors, at least one traitor voted for, well, he knows he's a faithful. So
yes.
2 traitors, if there are indeed another 2 there, voted for Jonathan.
Yes.
Which I thought was a clever thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it many times in all the other series. Like, there is a point where I think the other traitors realise their companion is gone. And at that point, it's in everyone's interest for them to not try and deflect and just to place the vote. And what happens, I mean, in the last series, I believe, early on, someone voted for a traitor and didn't go out. And I think we had an awkward tower. Yeah.
What I really like, I think I saw some like erroneous reporting that Jonathan Ross had said, thrown his fellow traitors under the bus afterwards. I just did not see that at all. And what I was going to say, I really liked his post-exit interview on the show, which was him just saying, you know what, they had to vote for me. It was my time to go. I hope, and he said, I hope they go all the way to the end. This is, and almost like, I've taken one for the team and they should carry on. And I really liked that. I thought, well, good for you.
When he did throw them under the bus was in the car earlier when he said, I think the people you need to look at is Alan and Kat.
Yeah.
But then everyone's doing that. Like, Kat's saying, well, what about Jonathan? Because you get down to the point where you can't be seen to avoid talking about someone. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was... Jonathan Ross going was probably the biggest moment so far.
The producers must be patting themselves on the back for that casting, because he's really carried that through.
Yeah.
The fact that it's taken them so long to get him out, even though we at home all knew he was a traitor.
Yeah.
Lots of people were really deciding and then changing them, and it showed that group dynamic that we talked about last time. People go, it really, really highlighted when somebody says a name at the table, they all follow like sheep.
Yes.
But it worked this time round. They did all follow, apart from David.
And then the murder in plain sight of,
amazing.
It was Celia, wasn't it?
It was Celia. And I said to you, when she sat next to Alan,
yes,
he's either going to toast someone across the way from him or next to him. He's not going to lean right across the table and do some toasting.
Well, he couldn't, because Joe Marler was sat across from him, I believe.
And he had a shield,
yeah.
Of course. So it was just poor luck that Celia sat next to him. And Celia was on to him as well.
Yes.
Do you remember when they were sitting in the thing? He's such a rubbish traitor. He can't lie. So she goes, is it you, Alan? And he just goes, not me. It's like, it's not me, Celia. And it's like, you could see the sparkle in her eye of like, I know it's you. You know it, him saying, it's all a game. It's, it's very theatrical, isn't it? And I think she as an actress of stage and screen will have been able to pick that up from him.
And then the banishment of Kate Garraway.
Yeah, good old Kate. Reacting Kate.
I found this very uncomfortable. I mean, Kate, it seems like she talked herself into...
She did.
Because she kept, every night she was saying, well, I'm going to be murdered. And
Everyone thinks it's me. We're shouting at the
literally
telly.
no one does.
No one's talking about you, Kate.
It's
no one's
like-
talking about you.
It's like if I walk into a police station and say, you're not going to arrest me. Eventually they're going to arrest you just to see what
And the fact that she starts it off, and I love because it's a journalist in her. I want you to tell me
Yes.
why you think it's me.
Yeah.
So you're inviting people to accuse you, and then you have to defend yourself. And we all know that when you have to defend yourself around the round table, none of it rings true. No matter if you're incredibly intelligent and articulate, like Stephen Flippin' Fry, people don't believe you because they think you're playing a game. I felt really bad for Kate, and I you know that from our first episode on this, if Kate was sat next to me in the cinema, she would absolutely do my nutting because I can imagine her going, there's an explosion. Like, she has to react to everything. That's clearly who she is.
She's like one of the dogs from Up. You've never seen
I've
Up,
never
have
seen
you?
Up.
No.
But I can
Squirrel.
imagine. Yeah, yes, that's it. Like,
Yes.
it's when Claudia said something about, there's going to be like £2,000 put in the pot and everything, and she just went, great. Everyone else is utterly silent, but she has to speak.
Yes.
She has to speak. And I wonder if it's part of her job. I find her fascinating because I think it all comes from her job.
I think she
that
needs
she
to
has
fill
to
that dead
react.
air.
Yeah.
And she needs to enunciate to break the silence because
Yes.
no one wants that like a silent reaction.
And she has to be on the go all
Yeah.
the time. When you're doing like, I'm going to call it Good Morning Britain or GMTV because I'm of that age.
I think
But
it's actually called Good Morning
is
Britain
it actually
again.
Good Morning Britain? Good Morning Britain. I love that song. Yes, so when she's doing like morning television, it's just go, 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 isn't it? Because everyone's having their breakfast and you can't just sit there and be thinking, well, let's just ponder on this very important moment. You've got a guest in, you're moving on, you've got the earpiece in your ear, you've got to, I think it's a real testament to her broadcasting skill and this journalism that she I thought that was really interesting, and I was sad that we didn't get to unpack that a little bit more. But they used it against her.
And so for me, I think the biggest problem for me was she was taking offence at everything everyone was said, and I think some of the comments went over the line. People called her ditzy, which I just
We
it
didn't like that.
It was
Yeah.
Joe Marler.
Yeah. Both of us were like, didn't like that.
I think that was it went into a personal attack in many ways.
And also, there's calling a woman ditzy there's a lot there, isn't there?
Yeah,
There's a lot there.
yeah.
She's a grown woman with an incredibly good career, and I as a woman, I really I felt that in my chest.
Yes.
Of this is how when we're in a workplace, that's the way that we can be perceived.
Yeah.
As women.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give Joe Martin, and obviously it's all in the context of a game. And in the editing. And I have used all sorts of words have come out of my mouth when I'm trying to find the right word, and then afterwards I've thought, oh God, I wish I hadn't have said it like that. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah,
and I don't think he did mean it in the way that I'm taking it. But it did stuck in the craw, I have to say, because it's this suggestion of what a woman is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you are far more tuned into that than I am through gender.
Yeah.
I felt it, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that. Yeah, I'm sure that I'm not. We're not the only ones who.
She's not ditzy, and she's a professional woman. And
she's a professional woman who's had a horrible time as well. Like, she's an incredibly successful journalist and TV presenter. Yeah. So
so good for you, Kate.
Yeah.
And all your reactions.
Fuck 'em. Yeah. And then we got the final five.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the whole let's stop it there and these are our finalists? Did you think they've done the right thing, or was it the only thing they could have done?
They have to do the end game now. I mean, I don't like the end game. And I don't like the end game because I'm colourblind. So when someone burns a bag, I can't tell whether it's green or red.
I'm going to have to tell you, it's red.
Yes. And if you're not in for whatever reason, I'm putting on the what's the word, like the audio description.
The audio description. Yeah.
Subtitles won't tell you.
It won't help you. So we've got David, who's a faithful. We've got Nick Mohammed, wonderful Nick Mohammed, who I just love. Joe Marler, who's a faithful. Joe Marler, who's found a new Joe Wilkinson in Nick Mohammed, and I find Joe Marler really interesting from a psychological perspective because he is building a team, and he's such a team, but you can see that he needs other people around him. And it's a real character trait that you notice in him. And he reminds me of a lot of people that I know who need that, who don't go it alone, who aren't off in a corner, who find people. And not because they're taking advantage of them, because I don't think he is, but they find people to be in their gang, to have a conspiratorial gang.
And that's the team mentality. Like, you remember when he turned to Kat, like after a thing saying, "Kat, I need to see more of you."
Yeah.
I know people who play rugby, and that is the sort of thing that they will out 100% say to people. And then we've got Kat and Alan. So the way this is, I preface this by saying it's completely down to the way it's been edited, I suspect. If Nick and Joe are onto Kat and Alan the way that they are, I can't see how they get through this.
They get through. I agree.
They've gotten to David. They're pretty sure that David is the least traitorous of everyone.
But you get rid of David anyway.
Yeah. It can't be that simple, can it? Because I don't think they'd show that at the end. I
am worried that Nick Mohammed is so clever that he's going to start to think it's Joe Marler. That he's thinking, because remember they already sowed that seed when he was talking to someone else. I don't know whether it was David or someone else. And he had said, I just don't know if he's just played a blinder of a game. And him and Jonathan have gone at each other to sort of deflect. I think he has this suspicion. I mean, he's suspicious of everyone, but he has this suspicion in his mind. And I wonder whether he's going to, at the end, he's going to be like...
They might edit it that way. They might edit it that way. Like, remember when it was Harry and I forget the girl's name?
I forget the girl's name. That's terrible, isn't it?
Isn't that awful?
That is not good. Yeah.
No one remembers second place.
That poor girl. But that was a really good setup, wasn't it?
Yes.
That all the way through, there was they never suspected him. She didn't suspect him. She said to him, "You promise me you are, aren't you?"
Yeah.
And they went into that as two people. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I am worried that they're gonna screw it up towards the faithful are going to screw it up but then friend of the podcast Chris Allen has been in touch with me tonight and said he's really hoping the traitors because they've played such a good game, so why are we on the side of the faithful,
Has Alan played a good game?
Well, yes, I think he has because he's played a good game because he's not been caught out.
I'm of the opinion that Alan has not been caught out because everyone knows the traitor.
And they're keeping him in.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you? Like, you go for someone who you are not sure if they are a faithful or not on the last one where they're...
But, I mean, that's a silly game to play when you're just getting rid of all those faithfuls and you're leaving a known traitor.
No, but I think
there.
this probably became clear post-Jonathan.
Did it become clear when he was asked to say, "I am a faithful," and couldn't say it?
Yeah, couldn't say it. Or when he...
And everyone just went, "Oh, Alan."
Or when he forgot that he had a shield. Which is really fair. And so you keep... if you keep him in, that A, stops the traitors recruiting, and B, you should get rid of him.
Yeah,
you can just get rid of him really easily.
Yeah.
You need to take a traitor... You need to take at least 2 traitors into the end game, really, because you...
Knowing that you know who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's easy. You off the 2 that you think it is. You off the one that you think it could be. And then if you've got some hundies...
Nice.
Then you split the money.
Yeah. And all the charities win.
No one's mentioned what charity they're going for yet, is it? Or how the money's been split?
And they usually do that at the dinner party. So the dinner party towards the end is where they all sort of get together, don't they? And then they go, "I've got a sad story to tell you."
Yes. Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to spend my money on, or I've got a worse story and this is what I'm going to spend the money on. And then you get to know a little bit more about them as people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking a lot about, I'm being like facetious, but I'm thinking a lot about Alexander last year and his brother, which really touched us because our son is learning disabled and Alexander is now MenCap ambassador. And just I just think he's fabulous for all the reasons and even more so now.
Yeah.
So that it reminds me of that. So, and the dinner party as well, I felt there was so much put on the how are we going to do the parting is such sweet sorrow, which for me was so obvious because you've got Stephen Fry, who's loquacious. You've got Celia Imrie's there. All you do is you just get talking to her about Judi Dench and about Shakespeare. And you bring those things up in conversation. Like, tell us about a time on the stage. Tell us, that's what I want. And also then I get my little bits of like anecdote from them about, about their life.
That's what you want.
And then that's what I want. And then you bring it up. But so much was on like Kat's face every time Alan said something, and the cheers, and the why were they saying eyes? Were they saying like eyes at the beginning? Like
What?
when they were clinking glasses? I thought they were saying eyes.
Don't know.
Okay, good.
Didn't
Understand that. Write in on a postcard
I
if
have
you know what they're
it's
going,
Halloween
going
themed.
on. But yeah, so much was put on that idea of Alan doing the murdering in plain sight. I kind of missed out on. Oh, I mean, they did a bit of like, what have you learned? But Alan didn't really seem to take it very seriously because he was too busy thinking about this murdering in plain sight.
Yes.
And so was Kat. You could see there was real tension between the two of them.
Which
so
is probably
relaxed.
what's given everyone away.
I think it
too.
is. I think it has given away. I think the pressure has really got to them. But that makes sense to me because we're getting to the end and also there's hardly any of them left.
What has to play out for the traitors to win, do you think? Do you think I don't think they're going to turn Nick or Joe against each other.
That is what you need. You need, or David. David has to come. They have to get David on board. David goes with them and votes out Nick and.
I don't see David going with them. That's the only thing.
But David's all over the shop. David's voting for everyone. David voted for Nick last time.
Yeah,
like
fair.
he doesn't know. And when Joe Marler, I think, went up to him, I think I might have got this right. Joe Marler goes up to him and goes, David, and he's trying to get him in the gang as well.
Yeah.
He goes, David, I think it's Alan and Kat, and David was really like dismissive in a way that I haven't seen him do before. Like, I just don't know. Like, he didn't want to hear it. It's like you're at school and someone comes up to you and starts like chatting in your ear and you're just like, I just don't know who to trust and I don't care, so I'm just going to go off at my own. Why are you laughing?
I think this is a you analogy. I think this is...
Well, you never know.
It's like someone comes up to you and says, hey, Elaine.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you fancy doing this fun thing that everyone else is doing?
No, thanks.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, thanks very much and goodbye. But he just went, I can't be doing with any of it. And I would be exactly the same. I was like, I think he said something along the lines of, I just don't know.
Yes.
Which is what you would say if you were suspicious of everyone. So who knows with David?
But surely if you're in that situation and you've got two groups, I mean, the only way I can see this happening is if Kat and Alan turn on each other and Kat tries and persuades Joe and Nick that it's Alan and David.
Oh, that's clever. I didn't think about that. But Nick definitely thinks it's Kat.
Yes. But they also definitely think it's Alan.
It's Alan and David. But then, is no one thinking of the logistics? Like, is no one thinking the BBC wouldn't have put three men in together?
I don't know, the
Like,
BBC nowadays.
I just don't think that would be the case.
Yeah.
I think they would know that they would select people with a great deal of diversity.
Yeah.
That is my feeling, is they wouldn't just pick three elder men.
Yeah.
I mean, not that old, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not three young men or three young women, or, that means that they've gone for three middle-aged men.
Yeah, I mean, it discludes I think Alan is gone. I think if Alan manages to make it to the final two, I mean, everyone needs to take a good long look at themselves in the mirror. But I think Kat might make it. But you're right in that it's not going to be three men. It's certainly not going to be three white men. So that takes the Jonathan, Alan, Joe thing out of it. But yeah, they've got to think this through strategically. And I'm not sure if in the heat of the moment
They're just not thinking. They're not thinking who is in front of them and what would make a good grouping. And
the only time someone's done that is when Stephen turned to Kat and said, "Well, you were asleep." And what we forget is that traitors get less sleep than the rest of us. And that's obviously assuming, as a 68-year-old man, that everyone goes back to their room and goes straight to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty
But
sure.
that's the sort of strategy and cleverness that you need someone like that to point out the obvious.
And interestingly, Paul came out in the press and said that came up in our series as well, but they
Right.
edited it out
Because they didn't want
because they
people
didn't
thinking
want
about it.
people thinking meta about the show and how it's placed and everything like that.
We are running out of battery on our recorder, so we need to wrap it up. Have you got anything else that you want to say?
I don't think there's anything that can be said.
Okay. We're going to be back for the final.
We are going to be back for the final.
When is the final? Tell me
It's
more.
Thursday.
Thank you. It's Thursday, so we watch it on Thursday and then we'll record as soon as we can. Final episode. Thanks to everyone who has downloaded and listened to these episodes. It is now our most downloaded episode of 2025, the last one that we did, the episode 1 to 4 recap.
That's a damning
Yeah,
statistic,
I
isn't
know.
it?
It was swiftly followed by that WWE documentary that we did a few weeks ago.
Well, traitors and wrestling.
That's it. That's what we need to do from now on. Celebrity traitors and wrestling.
My two shows of the year.
That's
Wait till top 10.
so yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening, and yeah, we'll see you for the final.
See you for the final.